Welcome to Sex, Lies, and Blank Pages with our special guest, Emilia Rose. Welcome.
Milk Amelia. And of
Thank
course, Cooper too.
Yes.
I have to bring him in.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
I'm doing so good. Thank you guys for inviting me. I'm super
Yeah.
excited to chat.
Yes, thank you for being on. And we know you, but could you introduce yourself for the audience who's listening?
Yeah, I'm Emilia Rose. I write spicy romance. I've been an author for about 5-ish years now.
Mhm.
And I'm also the CEO of Ream,
Yes.
reamstories.com.
Which is,
Could
do you want
you,
to,
yeah, could
yeah.
you tell
Yeah.
people a lot of that don't know what Ream is?
Yeah,
Mhm.
so Ream is basically a subscription platform for and by authors. We accept
Mhm.
spicy romance. We're for it.
Other
We
than YouTube, or unlike YouTube, right? I remember I got an email from you right after YouTube was a D-bag and banned me permanently without warning. And I had no idea that audiobooks were not permitted onto YouTube, especially since so many people pirate my audiobooks onto YouTube. And there's
Yeah.
so much content that is more explicit. But yeah, so completely unlike YouTube, you love spicy audiobooks on Ream.
We love spicy audiobooks. We love spicy ebooks. Whatever the spice is, we love it. And we also have a lot of social elements in our on our platform, like a social e-reader and a social audio player too. So
Mhm.
yeah.
Exciting and lots of fun things to come,
Oh, so
right?
many fun things to come.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. If you're an author who's listening, I highly recommend making sure you have a presence on the platform. If nothing else, even if you're just learning about the platform, just being on there and creating your platform and creating a space, I think, including like any other social media, I just think it's an important thing to do.
Yes,
Yeah.
we do plan on having adding more social elements to it. So I would also recommend
Yeah.
setting up an account and at least having a way for people to follow you. You get
Yes.
the emails too when they follow you.
So it
Yes.
is a
Mhm.
mix, like, because I'll act like I don't know what this is. Just define it, break it down more. Is it a mix of YouTube, Twitter, like what kind of social feeling does it have? Like people
So
come on.
right now it is a mix of Patreon, Wattpad, with like the social elements, Facebook groups. Eventually we're going to have a la carte, so one-time purchases. So we
Mhm.
plan to like the goal is to be everything authors need in one space. So authors don't need to use a bunch of different tools because, as a wide author myself, I'm literally everywhere and anywhere that I can be, and
Mhm.
it becomes a lot if you don't have a team.
Mhm. Yeah.
It definitely becomes a lot. And we were just talking about this with like the reliance on Amazon and
Yeah.
Kindle Unlimited. And obviously, if you're a Kindle Unlimited author, you could do chapter by chapter like people were doing for Kindle Vella and
Mhm.
like they do on other platforms. So you still have things to share onto your platform and they could get it early and all of that. And you can profit that money. Um, but yeah, Amazon being the primary source for so many indie authors and the potential for them to just change the rules, right? Or if
Mhm.
laws
Yeah.
happen to change and losing a lot of momentum or losing so much of your base, I just think it's really important to have these alternative revenue streams, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, one thing about Ream is, do you want to talk about like the revenue streams for authors on Ream?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, currently we just do subscriptions. So readers come in and subscribe to you monthly as an author, and Ream takes a 10% cut of that. But
Mhm.
you keep everything else. Eventually, though,
Yeah.
we are going to add on a la carte purchases. So one-time purchases where readers
Mhm.
can come in, purchase an audiobook or an ebook or eventually print too,
Yes.
which we'll probably chat about.
Yes.
And then we also have been thinking about adding tipping into the platform too, so readers can
Mhm.
come in and tip you for
For
just
certain
like a week
things.
or
Yes.
two. Yeah.
Like if you're posting freebies, like I have free audiobooks and free ebooks on Ream. So tipping would be like freaking awesome there. Yeah.
We've also thought about adding a couple different other options for authors to make money, but we haven't really
Mhm.
rolled them out yet.
Yeah.
So
It's exciting. I do think that 2025 is going to be an exciting year. I think it's going to be a wild ride, and we're all in for some funny times in our lives. But I am excited to see where this industry is going because every year has been like a absolute 180 in so many different ways. So that's exciting. And I think we talked a little bit about all sorts of things. But especially the distribution at Author Nation. What did you think about Author Nation?
I this was our first year.
It was
After
my first year too.
oh, it
Yeah.
was it's this is actually my third year, but it was like Author Nation's first year, I believe. And so I was actually really surprised at how many people were there and the the kind of like value of conversation that I had with
Yeah.
other people.
It
It was
felt like high-end conversation.
yeah,
Yes.
I
Yeah.
agree.
So Author Nation used to be, is it 50K to 20 books to
20
20K, 20 to 50K, 20 books to 50K. And it's multi-genre, not just romance. And they had, who all did they have? I know BookBub was there because I said hello. I know Written Word was there. So many people were there. Ream was there, obviously, and you were there as an author as well. Kickstarter was there with Oriana, who I've met multiple times. It was a lot of heads of
Yeah,
different aspects of revenue streams, which was
yes.
interesting to see because we don't see that even at like Readers Take Denver and Book Bonanza. It
Mhm.
wasn't like this. I'd never been to anything like Author Nation before. So was it like that in like for the 20, what was it called? 20 books to 50K?
20 bucks to
That's
50.
honestly not that much. Writing 20 books just to get $50,000
Yeah, I was
sounds
like, whoa.
Yeah.
awful. Yeah. Like
Like that
what,
sounds
like
awful.
that sounds
Yeah.
so bad. So it's good that it has a new name. Yeah.
I was like, wow, we have to write 20 bucks?
I know, that's a lot. Only for 50K. Inflation, guys. Inflation.
Yeah, I think they had when they started that it was like a while ago.
Yeah, I
So
think it was like 20 years ago or something.
Yeah.
And yeah. Yeah.
yeah. At 20 bucks to 50K, I think they had the same vendors, though I would say
Mhm.
like when I was there this year,
Mhm.
the quality of conversations, like I said before,
Mhm.
was a lot better. The people that I was
Mhm.
actually able to meet and talk
Mhm.
to was very valuable.
Yeah. And I had so much fun. Guys, we went to Martha Stewart's restaurant. What was it called? The Vineyard? Is that what it was called?
I think so. Yeah.
Where was this one?
In Vegas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was phenomenal. Oh my gosh, we got the roasted chicken. It was so good.
Mm, yum.
Yes, and we had plenty of cocktails.
I'm sure Martha was back there making herself fluffy.
Oh yeah. She gave me a kiss on the cheek.
Her and Snoop back there.
Oh
Oh
my
my,
Enjoying
God.
it
I would
together.
die. Could you imagine?
I'll take his dish.
Yeah.
Make me happy.
Yeah. So, one question we like to ask authors, feel free to pass if you don't want to, but we like to ask them, what are your high highs and what are your low lows in this industry? Because a lot of our audience is other authors. We do have a lot of readers as well. But I think it's really interesting to see. And you have it obviously a different pathway than other authors have taken by like creating Ream and really taking control of an alternative revenue stream.
And then tell me after how you freaking do both, because I can barely do one.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely a lot. I would say like my highest of highs is definitely interacting with my readers. I was
Mhm.
on a call yesterday with an author on Ream, and she's also a reader of mine, and she was just like freaking out. And I was like, girl,
Oh,
I'm just like a regular person. You don't have to
Yeah.
like I'm just normal. But she was like a super fan of mine, and it was I loved being able to just sit down, chat with her, and
Yeah.
think about books and writing and the worlds that I've created. And
Yeah.
I think that's like the highest high I
It
could.
is. It like fills your cup up, right? When you get to see readers, talk to readers, hug readers. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
That,
And it's funny how readers a lot of times don't like, they're like, oh, we don't want to bother you or something. And I'm like, I want to talk about my world too. That's why I wrote it.
yes.
I love
Yeah.
it. I want to, like, so I
Yeah.
love when they come up and it's like,
Yeah.
you guys can talk, because we're just as much readers too. I think, people forget that. Like, we're
Mhm.
readers. We've started out as readers. We're still readers,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's so fun talking about books with other people.
I do want to say a part of my soft retirement, it will include signings and conferences still. because I do love to talk business and I do love to see readers. So I still will be doing them. It's
Yeah, I
almost
could
like I'm
never see you
doing,
giving that up.
I think I've already soft retired because I plan on doing what I'm currently doing. And
There
that
you
is
go.
my, but that
I
is
think
my
I'd like to
retirement.
get Sean's.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's
Sean
hear
is
from
not
Sean on
allowed.
this.
Yeah. He has to delegate a
Has she
few more
retired?
things. Yeah. I think Sean would say that I am close to that mindset. But he is not allowed to retire yet. He has to delegate a couple of
Poor
things.
guy.
We need
All
48
right,
hour
Amelia.
books and somebody else. Yeah,
So,
sorry.
yeah, what's
Completely
your
a little
low
offshoot. Yes.
low?
Oh
We're
yeah.
bringing you
If
down
you
now.
want to share, if you want to share.
I think my low would be, I think it was in the beginning when I first started writing and releasing.
Mhm.
I think a lot of authors, they can get like so many good compliments on their work, but as soon as they see a negative one, they're like, oh
Oh
my God,
yeah.
I'm really so terrible at what I do.
We
Um,
do that. We focus on, we could have 100 reviews, and if there are two
Yeah.
one stars, we will click on the one stars.
oh my gosh,
Oh,
Read those.
and then I
Yeah.
will take it to heart and be in fetal position the
Yeah.
rest of the day, and
Yeah.
be like, well, I'm a fraud. I'm a fraud. They finally found me. Yeah.
I don't
no,
even, yeah. Do you even look at reviews anymore?
not
Not,
anymore.
I mean,
Yeah, me
yeah, I
either.
think there
Yeah.
is a beginning time that I think you do it, like you're so
In the
excited
beginning.
and like your first books and you do it. And
Hmm.
then all of a sudden, I don't know where that stops, but you're all of a sudden like, oh, nope, I won't. No,
It
at
stopped,
all.
I
That's
think,
a,
when I realized that sometimes people suck and sometimes people have really bad taste. And I'm like,
yeah.
why am I listening to somebody in Herman Munster's shoes? I'm just kidding. That was a Real Housewives reference.
No, I completely agree because like I'm writing books for me, and that's why I started is like I wanted to write books that I couldn't find elsewhere. And so
Yeah.
when I'm writing the story that I want to write, and I'm putting
Yeah.
like my insecurities and my feelings into all of my characters. And so when I read a bad review, it feels like people are attacking me personally.
Yeah.
Uh, So I've stopped reading them because
Mhm.
one, I'm not writing for those
For
people.
the
If you don't like that book, that's not for you.
Exactly. I agree with you completely. I am my ideal reader. So if I like it, job well done. Go do another one.
Exactly.
One thing,
Exactly.
during a panel at Author Nation, somebody asked, they were talking about writing prickly characters. And someone said, well, what if they're too prickly? What if, the person that you wrote, like people don't like them? And I was like, the other ladies on the panel gave excellent answers. But I said, fuck them. If it's too prickly for them, fuck them. They can read something else. Like you're writing
Yeah.
your perception of the world. There's a reason, and your voice matters, your perception matters. And it will find the people it's meant to find. And some people aren't going to like it, and that's fine. Fuck that. Not, fuck them sounds very harsh. But at the same time, like give them no energy because
Yeah.
that person, that character, those feelings should be written because somebody out there needs them.
And that
Um,
person exists in real life too. Like, we
yeah,
all know those
exactly. And
prickly
there's a
people that,
reason.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, there's a
there's a
backstory why they're prickly. Why
yes.
I'm, there's a backstory why I'm an asshole. I mean, I'm
You're
sorry.
like the sweetest person ever. Did you have like just because you're the first person that we've talked to who was at Author Nation, was there like one big takeaway or like one big dream thing, even if it wasn't from, because sometimes at conferences, I don't
Mhm.
take things away from panels, but I get inspiration in other ways from like talking to people or just my wheels turning and then something manifests.
Yeah.
What's the big, like, did you take away something where you're like, I'm going to do X and it's going to be fantastic?
Oh, I don't know. That's a good question. I think the conversations, especially at conferences, are a lot more beneficial for me specifically, just because
Mhm.
I have a lot of knowledge of the author industry already. So going to the
Yeah.
panels and going to the presentations doesn't add much for me,
Yeah.
but chatting with people and seeing what they're doing and kind of getting inspiration and ideas from them specifically
Mhm.
was really, really beneficial. And I think I'm going to do that more moving forward because I'm
Yeah.
usually very shy and introverted. So when I go to conferences, I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know if this person wants to talk to me or not.
Well, I
And
was
we're all
happy to
like
talk to
that.
you.
That's so
Yeah.
funny is most of us are kind of introverted and stuff. So
Hmm.
we feel very scary, but then it's that buzz of all of us being together, and we're all kind of friends. We're all in the same boat, and a lot of us are nervous, and it creates, to me, I know I need to get out because this is a very individual business. A lot of it's on our computers alone. So when we get to these things, the inspiration of being together sometimes is enough for me. Just all of us having that vibe of like, oh my God, it's so much fun to be around other authors. Yeah.
It's a high.
I don't know that you guys know this. And for our audience that's listening, make sure you like, subscribe, share with your friends and everything, but also prepare for your mind to maybe be blown because Emilia has something in common with me in that her husband is also named Sean, and Sean also works with her.
Yes.
Oh, that's cool.
Now there's another Sean we have to pity.
Exactly. There's another Sean, and he's so sweet.
Poor
and our
Sean's.
our Sean's got along at the dinner table. So what is it like working with your hubby? How did it start also? How did it happen?
Yeah, so when I originally first started writing, I was writing for free and releasing my books for free on Wattpad, which is like a free serial website. And they were getting a lot of views. I think I was like it was getting like 1 million views every week.
Which is insane, guys. This is also how 50 Shades of Grey happened. She originally
and Anna Todd's. And
yes,
Anna Todd's,
after Anna Todd's after. Yeah, right? Anna Todd's after?
Yeah.
It was the Harry Styles one. Yeah.
And so my husband, or who was my boyfriend at the time, he was like, you should monetize
Did you guys, so you got, I'm so sorry. I got so excited. Please continue. Don't let me interrupt you. Yes. I was like, love story around work. This is the romance. Okay,
it was so cute. Yeah. He was like, you should monetize this because a lot of people are reading it. And I was like, no. I want to give this away for free. I want people to enjoy it because they've been reading for free. And at that time I was releasing like 1 chapter at a time to my fans. And so he convinced me to start a Patreon actually. And I was on Patreon for a long time. I built up a huge following there, and was making a full-time like living before I finished college, off of my writing. And at that point, I think it was in 2020, I think, Patreon shut me down they censored me basically. And they were like, your content is like too spicy. It can't be on here. You need to remove specific books. And I was like, well, that sucks. Like these are my most popular books that my readers want to read. And so Sean was like, I'll start building you your own subscription platform and your own like website.
Isn't he amazing?
So cute.
Like, it literally is. Yes. He is like your support, like your backbone. Yes, I love it.
Yeah, and so we started working from there together, and I love it. Some days I'm like, some days we butt heads, definitely.
That happens. I can attest to it.
I mean, that's natural. Like,
yeah.
But it is really great being able to work with him and build Ream with him because he like gets me and he gets my vision. So I don't have to, I have to explain myself sometimes, but not too much. He understands what some things need to look like in order to help, to help build the best platform for authors that we can build.
Yeah, I love it so much. That's so sweet. So how did he propose? When did this happen? Tell me all the things. I had no idea. I assumed you guys were married for like a decade. Like
he proposed, we were at a oh my gosh, it's like one of those big gardens.
Like Longwind Gardens or like not Busch Gardens. Was it?
It was in Pittsburgh. It was like this really beautiful indoor garden in Pittsburgh. And we go there I was actually writing at a coffee shop and I was like writing one of my stories and he called me home and he's like, let's go out. And meanwhile, I'm in like sweatpants and like, oh, it's cold. I'll just wear this. And he let me wear it. But we get there and we're walking around and he's dressed super nice. And so I was like, something seems like up. And then he proposed and it was really pretty.
That's so sweet. Are you going to write your story?
Oh my gosh. I don't know. Maybe I should.
One day I want to write my story with Sean, but I feel like it's going to sound more like women's fiction. It would be romance, but I'm still going to do it. I'm absolutely one day. I like started it and the first chapter is awful. It's I was like, this is like
We
really
suck.
drawn out. It's like my internal dialogue in real life. And I'm like, that is, this is different.
Yeah.
I need an editor bad.
I think it would be hard to write my own like
It
story
is
like that.
different.
Yeah.
It's very different. Yeah. But I love hearing other people's love stories. So thank you for sharing.
I thought
Of
mine
course.
was boring.
Yeah.
Mine would be so.
Yeah.
Mine once upon a time was exciting. Be like,
Did
then I
we
went into the
ever
dead zone.
have we ever talked about our low lows? I know
Oh, let's not.
okay. We'll
I'm
save that
sure
for
we
another
have.
day.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sure we have. I
Probably.
feel
I
like
don't
we
think we
have,
have.
like last year.
No, I don't think we have either. I think that we just ask everybody else's because we're like little vultures. Just like share your trauma with us. We're not going to do the same.
Yeah,
No.
and I might use it in a story.
Yes.
We like trauma.
Yeah.
Is there anything you can spill with us that's coming up in Ream? Or anything this new year you're
Ooh.
Yeah, I talked to Willow about this a little bit. In 2025, we're going to be offering a way for authors to do print books on our website. We're partnering with another company in the space. I can't say who it is
Mhm.
yet. But
Do you know
going to,
when?
I want to say like mid 2025.
And this is one of the companies that also offers special edition options. Is that
Yeah.
right?
because I was like,
Yes.
they're so
Yes.
huge right now.
So you
That
would be
yeah.
able to have a subscription service with a special edition book, which
Yes.
would be packaged and delivered by somebody else.
Yes.
That
See?
sounds awesome.
Amazing. I love it. I
Yeah.
know, right? Fantastic. And that is something that is not on any other platform. So it is new,
Yeah.
it is innovative, it is seamless, and it is low labor intensive, which is really good for authors because we really should be writing. We
Yes.
should be writing more than anything, or at least interacting with our fans, whether in person at signings and conventions or on social media. But I'm obsessed with this one. I'm so excited for this one. We were literally at the Martha Stewart restaurant, and I'm like downing drinks and this delicious chicken while talking about this, and I was like, "This is heaven. This is my version of heaven." Yeah.
It's gonna be so good. I'm super
Yeah.
excited for everyone for the integration to finally like go live and us to
Yes.
work on it a bit more. So we have that and we're working on an ability to upload webcomics right now. So we know a lot of
That's
authors.
cool.
Yeah, I'm super excited about that. I know a lot of
Wow.
authors in especially romance too, they're starting to create
Mhm.
webcomics with other artists.
You
So
should talk to Lisa Vino. Have you talked to Lisa Vino?
I've chatted with her a couple of times.
Good. Yeah. You should do
Yeah.
that because I feel like there's like magic to be made in this like collaboration with you and her in terms of like the comic realm in the industry and connections. I could just feel like there's something there. And I think it's going to be fantastic. And I think it's going to be beneficial for authors and readers and artists and all the good stuff. Yeah.
I'm super excited too, because especially for spicy romance, I feel like webcomics
Mhm.
in the US are about to like have this huge like boom.
Mhm.
Oh,
And
100%.
there's going to be
Yeah.
so many people looking for them.
If
So
I had chips, I would go all in on comics
Yeah.
and special editions, like launching with special editions. That was one of the questions I got asked was like, what do you think is going to like is starting to trend and will be a massive source of income? And I
yeah.
think that the subscription special editions and having those is huge and the comics is huge. So that's exciting that Ream is like on the pulse.
Yes. I love it. I think creating a comic too though, it takes a while to
It
get all
does.
that down.
Yeah.
So
I'm sitting on one. It took us like 4 years, and I literally have 1,000 copies of a special edition version sitting at my warehouse. Yeah, I know. We're gonna do, I think this summer, like a fun launch, but I also want to have some other things in line. Like I'm taking my time with it. Soft retirement, guys. I'm literally
Doing well at it.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So restful, so
Yes.
relaxing.
I know.
so relaxed.
I see a whole new Willow right now.
Just wait till I also have a tan. When I see the sun one day.
I'm like in Seattle. I'm like, what? What's that?
What is sun? So if you had one piece of advice to
Mhm.
give to, let's say let's give so for new authors who are just starting out, but maybe piece of advice for authors who are feeling the pressure and the
Mhm.
stress of the industry and they haven't like they don't have that stability and they don't know where things are going. Do you have anything to tell those two groups of people?
Yeah. So I think my advice for is the same for both of them actually.
Yeah.
This is like super biased because I love subscriptions, but because
Mhm.
like the industry is like so like unstable at some point. So there's like a lot of highs, a lot of lows, especially on Amazon if you're exclusive there. Um, Having a subscription for me has been like the backbone of my business and super
Mhm.
essential for like stable income month to month to month.
Yeah.
Um, and that's just like building a space where my super fans in my community can hang out,
Mhm.
whether that's a paid space or just a space for followers to read some of my stories. I think it's essential, and it's definitely going to be more needed in the coming years, like space for
Mhm.
your fandom where they can hang out
Yes.
away from all the censorship, a place where you have like their emails, um their customer data, whatever it might be, you own that and instead of like a retailer owning that for you.
And I don't think that authors all the time grasp how vital that is to have
Yeah.
that information. And that's something that Amazon would never give us. And I can't even blame Amazon for
Yeah.
not giving us that information because that makes sense. It makes logical sense, right? But it's also something that a lot of other platforms don't give us is
Yeah.
that information and that access. And once they've bought something like, or once they followed, it's up to that platform whether or not they're going to share it. And you don't
Yeah.
have that control. And that could be devastating to work and investment that people have put in. Like Kindle Vella. A lot of authors put a lot of time into Kindle Vella and it wasn't profitable for Amazon. And then it got shut down, which again, that's a business decision. But for authors who went all in, it was a
Yeah.
devastating business
Oof, yeah.
decision. But literally that like Ream is a very positive solution for those kinds of things.
Yeah, we've definitely reached out to a few people. And when I heard like Kindle Vella was shutting down, because I know
Mhm.
a few authors, I won't mention names, but a
Mhm.
few authors who went full time, they quit their job based off of just their bonuses. And I was like, girl, I don't know if that's a good
Oh
idea.
no.
You know, they can pull those bonuses at any time and
They
they just
can.
entire platform.
Yeah,
Like,
I was shocked. I was partially shocked, but also partially not because their competition are those overseas paper chapter by those coins, which I don't think have been doing well in general. So for them to be competing against like a market that isn't necessarily thriving, it wasn't too surprising
yeah,
that they didn't continue it. Um, but at the same time, I was like, oh shit, I don't like this because this
yeah,
is some of my like favorite people in the whole wide world who are either reading on it and consuming it and loving it or the one of the creators for it.
I think it's
Um,
just so dangerous to put any of all your eggs in one
Eggs in one
basket. I think
basket.
that's
yeah.
why
Yep.
I stay wide and people are like, maybe you
Same.
should go to KU. Maybe you should. I'm like,
No.
no, because I don't
Mm-mm.
want Amazon to have that kind of control over my career that they can
Mhm.
just one day go, nope, we're not selling this anymore
Well,
or
not
whatever they
only
want.
that, but if you talk to the authors who do go from wide to KU, oftentimes they don't profit more and they end up spending a lot of money and then their cash flow they don't get back for 60 to 90 days and it ends up
Mhm.
being a deficit and a lot of them don't even know it until they do their taxes. And then
Yeah.
you've lost a lot of momentum on wide platforms. So
I mean,
I
there was
could
definitely the sweethearts of KU that like started there and people know they're on there, but I've tried several times and
mhm.
I never had that like, woo, this is the best place for me. No, I've always
I
been,
mean,
I'm going to say wide.
I could
Yeah.
talk for a long time and go through. I think we're going to do an episode on the evolution of social media and its impact on the writing space with an emphasis on indie romance in particular. And I think that we could really dive into KU there. And that'll be a lot of fun. And if you guys have any questions for Emilia, for Ream as a platform,
Go
or for
sign up.
upcoming episodes, yes, definitely sign up.
Yes.
Leave your comments below, like, follow, share, subscribe, all that good stuff.
Whew,
Also,
you still
have a
can say that.
drink. I
I was
know.
like, she can get
Yeah.
that out and
Share.
still with 2 drinks.
If
Sure.
if I can do that after this, you can have a drink with me, even if it's water. I love y'all.
All right,
Amelia,
guys.
any parting
Thank-
words before we
Yes.
go?
We
Oh
need
my
the
God.
words of wisdom.
What do you
I
have?
No
know,
pressure.
right? Literally spotlight all on you.
Um, I would say like just kind of going over what we've talked about today is I think now more than ever it's really important to own your audience. Um and
That would be a great title. Own your audience. Holy
there you
shit.
Well,
go.
there
I
we
love
go.
that.
Thank
Can I
you.
have that? Is that okay?
Yes,
Can I
you
have
have
that? Is that okay? Perfect. Thank you. I'm sorry. Go. Now is the most, that's as you were saying.
I
Now is,
think
yes.
now is the most important time to own your audience, especially with all the changes just, socially, politically, whatever it is. It's really important to own your audience and have a space where you can connect directly with your fans and sell directly to them. Um,
Mhm.
and we're hoping to be that space as Ream, and we're continuing to grow and provide new features to help you do that. So
Yes. And I
yeah.
love that. And I am so excited for everything to come. I think it's going to be phenomenal. So thank you for coming on and chatting with us and telling us all the things.
Oh yes, of course. Thank you for having me.